and then Calendar Anything will be able to work off of those objects and dates that we're working off of, and as well as the ability to relate that to another record and having a crew associated to a specific record in Salesforce as well. So once that's set up, that's totally possible. In this case, I'm looking at, I don't have it set up specifically like your example, but I could just walk you through and talk to you a little bit about how some of similar clients would do sort of that use case. So in any case, I have this events calendar. I have it color code based upon the assigned to user. This could be a crew, for example. This could be another field if it was like a status or a type. Any field off the object can be color coded by, and each one can have a various different color. So at a quick glance, you could see various different things, whether it's the status of a project, a specific crew, stuff like that. If I click into the actual record, I can see additional details. So this details dialog box is going to populate through. This is totally customizable to the fields that you're going to be using. So this could be a location, job description, crew that's assigned, so on and so forth. And the fields that you see here will be assigned in whatever order that you'd like. We have the ability to search by specific criteria as well. So in your case, you could search by a specific crew name if you wanted to easily just filter out and just, if you know you're going to be scheduling for a specific crew and you want to look over a longer period of time, you can easily just type in the crew's name or type in this case, I'm just looking at accounts, so I typed in the account name and it's only displaying the events for the specific account. I'm working in the month view, so we do have a view that sort of gives a snapshot from a daily perspective. So you can group it by a specific field. If you had a field that was called crew, then the crews would appear at the top here. As you see here, essentially anything underneath these crew members will be associated. So if I wanted to go ahead and create a record, I can go ahead and just create one. And click Save, and that got created in Salesforce. So you do have the ability to create records as well as edit existing ones. So this is drag and droppable as well. I can drag and drop and change either the crew or, in this case, this could be assigned to user. And it changes the color that's associated to it as well. Change it from Yannick's name to Jane's, and it changes that color.
So ideally, I guess each crew would have a Salesforce license, and then we could do like assigned to, just call the Salesforce license ABC crew type of thing.
You don't have to, unless you want the end users that are the crew members to actually visualize this as well. You could have a field on the object that's just called, as opposed to event status, you can have crew, and you can have crew A, B, C, D, and then you can select it.
So that's how it works, is it's working off the event.
Yeah.
And just some custom fields.
Or any object. Yeah. An event or custom object. Yep.
So we could, just to maybe simplify it, I could, like say, create a project with a bit of a header on it, and then do everything else in events. Like say, okay, crew A needs to go out at this date and that date, and then you just calendar anything, the actual event related to that object, I guess, right? So it's, and then the related to would be filled out there. Okay.
Yeah, correct. It'll be related to that actual custom object.
That could be the project object or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what was I going to say here? So then if I go ahead and I change this, it's going to update. Like if I go into the calendar and I move it across a week, it's just going to go in and update, the activity object appropriately on that side of it. So, and then put the new date in there.
I just changed it, and you see it changed the end date from the times that I changed it to. So just by drag and drop it, so it's live, so you can interact with the records in Salesforce from this calendar UI. Do scheduling, any changes that may be needed, you can easily change them. We have a number of different views as well, just working in our day, month, week. Like for example, our Gantt chart looks at over a longer period of time. You can have a project name at the top, and then you can look at all of your scheduled crews underneath a specific project. So it can give you sort of a project management view to see this is a specific project, what actual tasks are happening under this project, and what crews are assigned to them. So it gives you a snapshot view into that, and that may be a good view. I know you mentioned opportunities from a reporting standpoint, so I'm working off of opportunities right here. I have them color-coded based upon the stage. It also computes the amount of each opportunity, and it rolls it up to the master as well. And then we can group it by any field. So if you had like crew name that you wanted to put in as well, so if you had a field on the opportunity page called crew, we can then group it by crew as a second tier, so you could see, the crew name that's associated and the amount and so on and so forth.
Okay, cool. So when you look at the, how do you guys work? Like if, let's say, like I just do a quick start. So I'm a Salesforce partner here in Western Canada, and I get the guy using
Yeah.
opportunities, and then we write a bit of code that, or workflow or whatever, and convert it over to, a custom object with a assigned task. And then would you guys do some of the consulting around the actual how to use the calendar, or and charge them for that, or how do you guys like to or would I do all the calendar work for the guy?
No, I mean, we can work with either yourself or the client directly.
Right.
It's within the trial phase. It's free, so we can assist with setting it up. Have a few calls with you guys.
Right.
We won't actually do any of the back-end Salesforce setup. That's
Right.
sort of outside of our
Scope. Yeah.
our ability to do that.
Right.
We will be able to assist with like the calendar creation process and making sure that that's going to work appropriately.
Right.
And then from there, they can purchase licenses. And once they become a customer, we do have customer support in the future
Right.
if needed as well. So that's free.
And what does this look like on the phone? I guess do you have like a
Yeah,
some
we have a free
ukulele you
mobile
can show me?
extension
Yeah.
as well. So it's going to look, it's going to be this, due to the mobile screen size, we've created this view called Agenda View,
Right.
which gives you a snapshot overview. The ability to, the fields that you see here are customizable to what you'll want to see in mobile. You can customize it. Everything that you can do in the desktop version is available in mobile, so you can create new records, you can edit existing ones. You can see all of your various different calendars. It's going to be an active scroll, and then you can jump to a specific date as well. So
Okay.
we're in June now. If I wanted to jump out to September as opposed to scrolling all the way down, you can we have a date picker, so you can select a date, and it'll jump to that date.
Right. Okay. And then if they're using Lightning, this stays the same. This view here, I guess, right? And then it just
Correct.
yeah. So on that side of it, okay. All right. No, it looks pretty straightforward. So so expectation with them? Let's say they're not that big of a company. Let's say they're running 5
Yeah.
crews, and
Hmm.
let's assume that I think that ultimately the way that I would promote it is that the crews get a Salesforce license each, and then ideally they could go in and close out an activity, right? So if I'm on site and I've got 2-day job at the end of it, they just find the activity and say closed, and then that would be
Yeah.
reflected appropriately. And then, so we've got that. So let's say they've got 5 crews, and then they have a scheduler. So let's say it's like 7 licenses that
Yeah.
that they would be looking at. What is the price model just for those 7 licenses?
Yeah. So the pricing is $10 per user per month, but we bill annually,
Right.
so it's 120
Right.
for the full year.
Times 7 US.
So it's $840 for the full year subscription.
Right. Okay. And then what do you guys
Yeah.
charge per hour if I got them, like if I got the, activity object all set up and said, okay, let's bring you guys in to consult a little bit more on the actual calendar setup. Do you do
We
like,
won't charge for that. It's free in the trial process. Yeah.
right.
Within limits,
Yeah.
if they need like 40 hours worth of work, which is probably wouldn't be necessary, obviously, but we wouldn't charge within that trial period
Okay.
to assist.
All right.
You typically jump on like 1 or 2 calls
Right.
with like 1 or 2 1-hour calls,
Right.
and then it's typically set up in a quick process. So if the source, it really only just takes creating the